Alrighty, you guys know that you have been working with TinkerCad. Hello, 1 second, please. Okay, something that I want for us to understand about TinkerCad. It is not three-dimensional, okay? As I've been looking at some of your designs, you've been making like the wheels stand up so they'd be circles, and you've been adding in like windshields. That's not how it works. So let me show you how the laser cutter works. Okay, let me switch my camera here. All right. Look at our nice laser cutter. Isn't it amazing? Do you see it? It's so nice. This laser cutter right here. And look, here's a strong laser. You see the laser coming down? Okay, this is our laser cutter. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to take your cardboard and you're going to put it in the laser cutter. Okay, so right now this is cardboard and it is sitting flat on the laser cutter. Okay, your laser, which looks like this. I'm going to get a thicker one so you can actually see it. There we go. We got a nice orange laser. See our laser? Here's what's going to happen. Your laser is going to go, and it's going to cut your car. So what's actually happening is instead of drawing, your laser cutter is doing this. Everywhere that your line is on TinkerCad, it is going to make a cut. Okay? So when your car piece is laser cut out, isn't this an amazing laser? Look at this laser. It's so high tech. Here's the sound it makes. I don't know why it sounds like an ultrasound, but it does. Boom. That's what you're going to have. Look at this. It is a flat piece of cardboard. Okay? Some of you guys have been thinking it's going to be a 3D printer. And you've been thinking it's going to give you like a three-dimensional object with some thickness and shape. It's not. It's going to give you a flat piece of cardboard. Okay? So I want you to understand that whatever it is that you draw on TinkerCad, you need to imagine those are scissors. All your drawing is doing is creating a cut on a piece of cardboard. So the laser is going to trace all the way around, and then you're going to pick it up, and it's going to be a flat piece of cardboard. Okay? So again, here's your TinkerCad screen. If you draw this, this is what you're getting. A flat piece of cardboard. Okay? Questions on that? Any questions before we get started? I want to clarify because some of you guys have been drawing some super awesome cars, but they've been three-dimensional. And when those get cut by a piece of paper, you're going to be real upset when it doesn't roll. Okay, so I want to make sure we don't have questions. Yes, Leah.
Do we have to use that car, or can we use the car that we made?
You are going to have a choice between the two. So after you test both of them, you can see which one works best. Okay. Yes, Terrence.
So what you're saying is you basically have to make two of the same cars, like two duplicates for each side.
So that's exactly correct. So that was going to be my next point. Thanks for jumping ahead of me. We'll go ahead and talk about it now. So what Terrence is saying is right here. So let's say this is the piece that I cut out. When I put it on my car, it's going to look like this. That's not a car. That's a picture. Okay. It doesn't have two sides. So you are going to want to duplicate it because you'll want it on this side and on this side. You'd want it to be on both sides so it's a closed object. So some of you guys did do a nice drawing and it would cut out well on the laser cutter, but you only did one side. So your car is going to look like this. Okay, so that's another good point. So yes, you are going to want to duplicate this. So I would do it here And then I would draw my car again. So that I could have two sides of my car. And then I'd be able to pick up both sides of it. Okay. So great point. So yes, you will want two sides. Other questions on what the laser cutter is going to do? Yes, Terrence.
But you also want the back side to hold them both together.
Yes. So you will all, and the other teachers have those cars. I'll go grab one. You will all also get a rectangular piece that you can use to hold them together. So you can use to tape it on either side together. So yes, that will also be available to you. Okay. Other questions before we talk specifically about TinkerCad? Yes, Terrence.
Are you going to go get them right now?
Nope. All right. So let's take a look here. On your activities, this is the activity I gave to you several days ago. So I want you to click on your activities bulb, please. Sorry, Camille, I didn't mean to ask to unmute, my bad. Okay, and we're gonna scroll down, 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 right here. It was on May 10th. It's got Mr. Nelson's drawing. Go find that picture. It's called Sousa Designing for the Laser Cutter, the Mintmobile Challenge. Sousa Designing for the Laser Cutter, the Mintmobile Challenge. Okay. I'm going to share a few of your designs. Okay. So take a look here. This is Aiden G's laser cutter that he has created so far. This is beautiful because he's got both sides of his car. He's got a hole for his axles. He's got the parts that are going to hold the car together underneath, on top, all that. Okay. This part right here, see this circle, guys? This won't show up because all the laser cutter is going to do is cut along the outside. So that circle piece won't be there. Okay. So Aiden, that's one thing to keep in mind. So then we have some other drawings like this right here. This isn't on TinkerCad. This isn't what I want. Okay, so Josh, we're going to do a TinkerCAD screenshot here. So we're not going to seesaw it. And then I want to show a couple others. So Elijah right here has a great start. He's got one side of his car. So this is that problem that we talked about where right now his car would look like this. So we're going to go add in the other side as well. Okay, Elijah, great start right there. This right here, so Justin and everybody else, I want you to see here, this will not cut out. The scissors, the laser is going to go, and you're going to have a flat piece of paper that looks like the blue. That's it. That's not going to be a very good car. Okay. Levin right here. And I'm showing this to everybody so everybody knows, like right here, you've got these circles that I think you thought would be wheels. Those aren't going to cut out three-dimensional. They're going to cut out on a flat piece of cardboard so they won't roll. Okay. So that's what I want everybody to see is what you've done so far needs some adjustments. Okay. Terrence has got a drawing right here that started. So again, Terrence has got sides of his car. He's got a bottom piece, a top piece. So it's going to stay together. But this circle, that's not going to show up. It's not going to print like a cylinder like this. It's going to be a flat piece of cardboard. So that's what I want everybody to imagine. When you're thinking about designing your car, I want you to think about this visual. Okay. Your laser is going to go shink, 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 and it's going to give you a flat piece of paper. It's just cutting out a thicker piece of cardboard. That's all your laser cutter's doing. It is not going to be three-dimensional. So as you're designing, remember your three-dimensional parts of it. Oops. Your three-dimensional parts of it, you have already. You can put wheels, you can attach them to your car. See that? My wheel fits right into my car there. So you have the three-dimensional pieces. They're just not going to come from your laser cutter. Okay. I want to make sure we all track with that. Yes, Terrence.
How will they not show? Because my cylinders are all the way through my car, and Mr. Nelson said if they're all the way through your car, then it'll cut like a straight hole through it.
Okay, so Terrence's question, let me share the screen again so that we can all have an understanding, because this has been a common thing that we've done. Okay, so Terrence's question, this right here, this circle, what do you mean that won't show up? Okay.
I'm talking about like the cylinders that goes through the car. Them
Oh,
are all the way through the car. If you look at the bottom view.
those will show up. I'm talking about this right here, that back part that makes it look like it's a three-dimensional. That won't be a three-dimensional. What that's actually going to do, so let me share my screen or change my camera again here. What that circle at the end is going to do is actually this. On the laser cutter, it's going to show up as a little half circle right there. And the laser is actually going to cut that. It's going to go whoop. So you're going to have two pieces. That's what's going to happen with that circle right there. Anywhere that there is a line on your TinkerCad, the laser is going to cut that line. Okay, so the cylinders for your axles were perfect. So you put like one right there and one right there. What the laser cutter is going to do there is go and drill so it makes a hole. That's going to be fine. But that back part that you and Aiden G and I think Elijah had, it's going to cut that right off. And you're going to have a random half circle piece of cardboard, and you're going to have a random half circle cut off the back of your car. Okay, so this is what you would get when you picked up your piece. A half circle at the end and a half circle missing from your car. Okay, so anywhere that you have a line segment, see this blue line tracing around that oval, that's going to get cut off like I just showed you. These are fine. Okay, now I will tell you those are way bigger than the straws. So what's going to happen is your straw right now, I got to switch my camera. Ooh, I'm doing the most right now. Right now, what you have, the reason that Mr. Nelson is so specific on the size of that hole for your axle, your straw is going to do this. Bloop, 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 bloop. It's just going to go all over the place, which means your wheels are also going to be going, bloop, 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 bloop. They're going to go everywhere. Mr. Nelson gave you a specific size of the hole so that when you put the straw there, it stays in place and it can't wiggle everywhere. If your hole is this big for your axle, your straw isn't going to stay in place and it's going to pop off the car. Okay, so that's why he gave you that specific measurement size. So it would fit the straw, the axle, very well. He measured the straw. We gave him a straw. He said, okay, the hole needs to be this big. If you make it bigger, your wheel is not going to stay on your car. It's going to go like this, boop, and fall out. Okay. Yes, Tim.
Can I show my screen? I was gonna show you what mine looks like and see if that's okay, but I just missed a few things. That would be good.
You can do that with me afterwards as a question. So stay on with me. I'm going to hang out for questions, and I'd be happy to do one-on-one consults. More than happy to do that. Okay. All right, friends. So I asked you to go to this activity right here because we're going to look at our TinkerCad together. Okay. Go ahead and open up TinkerCad, please. And remember, as your teacher, I can see your projects. Excuse me. Why is it not letting me open it? How did I do this last time? Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. So you've got your project. And then here's my design. Okay, so I'm going to tinker this. What I am going to do is I am going to watch Mr. Nelson's YouTube video. So I've unlocked it. I also want you to go open his YouTube video right now on your screen and then pause it. Open it up and pause it. Okay, open that up, pause it. Yes, Terrence.
But is it really gonna matter?
Is what going to matter?
Like the wheels, because you could just put it on top of the wheel. Like the holes, because it's just to make it look 3D.
If you put it on top of the hole, it's going to rub against your wheel and cause friction and slow your car down. So yes, it matters. If you rest cardboard on top of a wheel, it's going to slow it down and not spin as fast. Okay. All right.
If it spins too fast, it's gonna spin out.
Nope, it doesn't have an engine. There's nothing to propel it forward and slow its speed. It will just continue to roll. Yes, Serenity. What's the class code for TinkerCad? Serenity, the class code for TinkerCad is on that seesaw assignment right here. The one I asked you to go to. Sousa, designing for the laser cutter, the Mint Mobile Challenge. It's right there. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch Mr. Nelson's video and then I'm gonna do what it says.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Nelson, and I'm going to sit here and go into TinkerCad and show you how to design for a laser cutter. That's how you're going to be making your cars for your Mint Mobile race. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, is get into TinkerCad and click on Create New Design. Now, as we create our new design, we have to think about what a car looks like. What shape are we talking about? We're going to be doing a side view because that's what we're going to be cutting out. So the first thing is you can switch to a top view and pretty much see what shape you're looking at.
So that right there is like what I just showed you when I was cutting out with my quote unquote laser. Looking straight down on it, the laser is going to go ving, 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 and cut out any line segments. So the top view is what I recommend, because when I take the camera down there and show you the laser cutter, we're going to be looking down on top of what's being cut out. So this is exactly what you'll see physically happening on the laser cutter. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and pull out a box, and that box, I'm going to make my box 150 millimeters or 15 centimeters. There we go. So it's 150, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm also going to make it about 40. Now that.
Okay. So Mr. Nelson has shown a body of a car. On TinkerCad, I don't have to do exactly what Mr. Nelson did. Okay. So he did a box. I actually think it would be kind of cool to have almost like a cylinder type body. So I'm going to make the body of my car look a little bit more like a cylinder. He did say about 150 millimeters. So I'm going to keep dragging until my width, hashtag area and perimeter, is 150. I want my car to look a little bit more like a cylinder. I think that'd be a pretty cool look. Okay. So again, right now, that's what the laser cutter is going to cut. This shape. Whoop, that's it. Okay. It is not going to print something that looks like that. It's not going to be 3D. It's going to be just that cylinder shape. Okay. So he did a box. I did a cylinder. I'm going to go back to watching.
150 is a good number for length. Height, it's entirely up to you as to what you want to do.
Okay, so height, you can have a car that's itty bitty. You can have a car that's big and huge. I'm going to invite you to think very carefully about your aerodynamics. What's going to have the least amount of wind resistance? A car that's this tall or something smaller? Okay, now keep watching.
So here is our box. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit thinner because it doesn't really matter. What happens is when you design your car, you're going to be designing it flat, like a drawing. And then when you're done and you've done everything you can, then we're going to push it down so that it crosses the work plane, because that's what the laser cutter sees.
Okay, so I hope you just heard that. When everything is done, we're going to push it down below the work plane. Why? Let me show you why. Let me stop sharing and switch my camera again. Here's why we're going to push it down, okay? Here's my, well, you know what? Let's do it this way. I'll get a full new piece of paper to show you. Nope. Yeah, cool. Okay. Here's my work plane. Here's my cardboard, okay? If my drawing is up here, here's what happens. Boop, 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 boop. The laser never touched the cardboard. Okay? It would be the same as me taking my scissors and cutting like this. If I'm not touching the paper, it's not going to cut. So if you leave your Mint Mobile up here, it's the same thing as you trying to cut paper like this. The laser is never going to touch the cardboard. So we're going to have to push it down so that it touches the cardboard. Just like you got to take your scissors down so that they touch the paper. Okay? So let me show you what that looks like on TinkerCad. So right now, I am not touching the cardboard. Do you see that? Look where my line is. My line's up here. It needs to be touching the cardboard. So what I'm going to have to do is move this below or into the cardboard. Okay? And I got to remember how to do that. Miss Bram, you were just doing that so well. See, I'm learning too, guys. This is my very first.
Press the cone, the cone.
It's
That's
the arrow
right.
on top.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So see what's happening? Now, look, it's below the cardboard too. So now when I look on top, it's going to actually cut on the cardboard because my shape is touching the cardboard. That thick blue line is my cardboard. It's going to cut everywhere that it's touching. Okay? So if I were to leave my shape up here, 1 second, here we go. If I were to leave my shape up here, look, it's not even touching the cardboard. So the laser cutter is going to be right up here, not touching anything, and it's not going to cut. It's going to make a pretty light that touches no shape. So you want to push it down so that it is actually touching that cardboard. Okay? Very, very, very important. Just like it's very, very, very important to put your scissors on your paper if you want it to cut. Okay? All right. So I'm doing what Mr. Nelson says. I'm watching a little bit. Let's watch one more little bit, then I'm going to go work again.
So I'm going to make a pretty simple car today. Let's see. I'll go ahead and add a cylinder here, a hole, and that's going to be where my driver sits. Stretch that out a little bit. Maybe go ahead and add 64 sides so it's nice and smooth.
Okay. I hope you just heard what Mr. Nelson said. He said he made a hole. Okay. So this right here is not adding another shape. It is cutting out a hole. So what that looks like here, I'm going to take a hole. Oops, there we go. Make a new shape. Okay. I'm going to set it here and it's going to become a hole. Now the laser cutter knows I also need to cut a hole wherever this is. Okay. And again, look, right now, my hole is not touching the cardboard. So I'm going to have to put the hole down so that it is touching the cardboard. Okay. And then it's going to cut out a hole right in that area. Okay. So that's where my little Lego minifig can sit. All right. Okay. So, goodness gracious, I've had the wrong camera on. That's what you're going to do right now. Watch Mr. Nelson's video. Go do it on your TinkerCad. Watch Mr. Nelson's video. Go do it on your TinkerCad. Watch Mr. Nelson's video. Go do it on your TinkerCad. Okay? Terrence, I'm not going to call on you when you're doing that. So that's what I want you to take a look at. Watch some, pause it, do it. Watch some, pause it, do it. If you sit here and watch all 9 minutes, your brain is not going to remember all that. Okay? So watch some, pause it, do it. Watch some, pause it, do it. Okay? And remember, yours does not have to be the exact same as Mr. Nelson's. He did a box, I wanted a cylinder. Have fun with it. Get creative. Make some changes. But you need to make sure the directions, make sure it's a hole. Make sure it's pushed down. Make sure it does this. You got to do that part. Okay? All right, friends. If you have questions or would like help, I'm going to be here until 9:45. If you don't have questions or don't need help, you are good to go after we talk about announcements. TinkerCad and your prototype. If you want your car laser cut, I have to have it done by tomorrow. Okay? We have a whole grade level, 120 some kids that are laser cutting cars. It takes time. So we as teachers need time to load the cardboard, get it cut, put it in the office for you to pick up, load the cardboard, get it cut, put it in the office for you to pick up. That takes time. So if you want a laser cut car, it is done by Friday. On Friday, I'm logging into TinkerCad. I'm going to click print on the cars that are there. If your car is not there, you do not get a laser cut car. Okay, so does everybody understand? By tomorrow, at the end of the day, is got to be done. All right, this you can spend all next week on. You've got all the time in the world for this one. Okay, but for your laser cut one, it's got to be done by Friday so we can make sure to get them cut for you. All right, friends? Okay, that is what I have for you. If you want to hang out here and ask questions, I'm here. If not, you're good to go.